This was the one that I started crying while I was writing, so hopefully I can get through it without needing a break.
All right, we're going.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to the series on Catholic women. Today we're going to be talking about Blessed Chiara Badano, and my name is Jenny Zahner. In October 1990, Chiara Badano succumbed to bone cancer and died at the age of 18. The beautiful and well-loved Italian girl was quickly put on the path towards sainthood. She was the only child of her parents. They had waited and prayed 11 years for a child, and when Chiara was born, they were overjoyed. She was doted on and well-loved, but a strong-willed and occasionally disobedient child. At age 9, Chiara joined the Focolare movement, which focused on the suffering and abandonment of Jesus. She said, "I discovered that Jesus forsaken is the key to unity with God, and I want to choose him as my only spouse. I want to be ready to welcome him when he comes, to prefer him above all else." Chiara was a pretty normal girl. She was athletic and social. She struggled academically and failed her first year in high school. Although she was teased for her beliefs, she held strongly to them and was still able to interact with all the other students in her school. During the summer of 1988, when she was 16 years old, Badano had a life-changing experience in Rome. She wrote to her parents afterwards, "This is a very important moment for me. It is an encounter with Jesus forsaken. It hasn't been easy to embrace the sufferings of my life, but this morning, Chiara Lubich, the leader of the Focolare movement, explained to the children that they have to be the spouse of Jesus forsaken." After this trip, she started to correspond regularly with Chiara Lubich. She then asked to be given a new name, as this was going to be the start to her new life. She was given the name Chiara Luce. This was a kind of play on words, since Chiara is a common girl's name taken, for example, from the name of Clare of Assisi, but it is also an everyday word meaning clear. Luce is occasionally found as a girl's name in Italy, though it is mostly secular rather than religious, and it means light. So Chiara Luce means clear light. Lubich wrote to Badano that your luminous face shows your love for Jesus, which is why she was given the name Luce. In 1988, Chiara began to feel an intense pain in her shoulder while playing tennis. The doctors diagnosed her with a rare form of bone cancer. Chiara began intensive treatment, but during the treatment, she refused to be put under morphine. Instead, she remained alert and awake so that she could pray and offer her sufferings to Jesus. One of her doctors said, "Through her smile and through her eyes so full of light, she showed us that death doesn't exist. Only life exists." A friend said, "At first we thought we'd visit Chiara to keep her spirits up, but very soon we understood that, in fact, we were the ones that needed her. Her life was like a magnet drawing us to her." She was joyful and loving to the doctors, the staff, and the other patients in the hospital. Her doting parents were distraught to see their daughter suffering. When they refused to leave the bedside, Chiara bought them reservation for a Valentine's Day dinner and ordered them not to return to her bedside until after midnight. In order to ease her passing, she also hid notes in books around the house for her parents to find after she died. One of these notes was a Christmas card dated for the year 1990. While undergoing a painful medical procedure, Chiara was visited by Our Lady. When the doctors began to carry out this small but quite demanding procedure, a lady with very beautiful and a luminous smile came in. She came up to me, and she took me by the hand, and her touch filled me with courage. In the same way that she arrived, she disappeared, and I could no longer see her. But my heart was filled with an immense joy, and all fear of dying left me. In that moment, I understood that if we're always ready for everything, God sends us many signs of his love. The Archbishop of Turin, Italy, heard about Chiara's illness and visited her at the hospital. He asked her, "The light in your eyes is splendid. Where does it come from?" Chiara simply responded, "I try to love Jesus as much as I can." Before she died, she told her mother, "Oh, Mama, young people, they are the future. You see, I can't run anymore, but how I would like to pass on to them the torch like in the Olympics. Young people have only one life, and it's worthwhile to spend it well." Before her death, Chiara planned her own funeral, but she planned it in the style of a wedding, since she would finally be united with her heavenly love. She chose happy music, and she asked to be buried in a white dress with a pink sash. She told her mother to repeat the words, "Chiara Luce is now seeing Jesus," after she died, while her mother was preparing for the funeral. After receiving the Eucharist, confession, and last rites, Chiara died at 4 a.m. Her last prayer was, "Come, Holy Spirit," and her final words were words of comfort to her mother. "Goodbye, Mom. Be happy, because I am." 2,000 people attended her funeral, or as she would have called it, her wedding. The mayor of her hometown ordered that everything be shut down the day of her funeral, so that everyone in town could attend the funeral and honor this teenager who loved Jesus and others so well. Thank you for joining us.